What's up, everybody? Mr. Burr here again, coming at you with video number 3. This time we are going to be focusing on study skills and study habits. So last time we talked about organization, and if you're organized, it's going to set yourself up for studying to be just a little bit better. So hope you all are doing well, and we're going to get going. All right, here we go. So the first thing that I would recommend is to plan your time. All right, so again, that goes along with organization, planning your time, but have a set schedule and know when you're going to study. All right, know how long you're going to study. And again, this should not be the night before the exam. Cramming does not work. No matter what you heard, cramming does not work. It's very ineffective. And then you end up not getting sleep, which means your brain's tired. And if your brain's tired, you're not going to do well on a test. So make yourself a plan. It should be several days before the test itself, and you should have a sufficient amount of time to get in everything that you need. So going along with planning your time, you need to work in some breaks for yourself. All right. So if you're going to say, I'm going to study for 2 hours, that's wonderful, but how realistic is it? Because studying for 2 hours nonstop without a break is a lot. So don't burn yourself out, and just be realistic about it. So that could be, for example, I'm going to study for 25 minutes straight, and then I'm going to take a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break. And during that break, let that be your social media or your phone time. But really try to have your phone turned off or on silent, or whatever you got to do, so it's not interrupting you during your 25 minutes that you're on. Because 25 minutes really isn't a long time to be away from your phone or your computer, whatever it may be. But during your 5 or 10-minute break time, that's when you get your phone back. And just make sure that you are staying consistent with that 5 or 10-minute break. And once it's up, and you get back to studying again. Okay, so again, planning your time, being realistic with your time, and holding yourself accountable for your time. So it's really important when it comes to studying. You want to have a good study environment. All right, so if you know that you need complete silence in order to study, studying in the middle of the cafeteria during lunch probably is not the best thing, because it's super loud. If you know you need to be in your room with the door closed, then make that happen. Okay, plan your time accordingly, like we just talked about. So you have a good study environment. That's super important. If you don't have a good study environment, you can sit there and look at your notes for 2 hours, but if you're not able to concentrate on it, it's not going to be effective. So you know yourself best. You know the type of environment that you're going to need. So just go ahead and make it happen. With your notes, if you're studying from notes, it's effective to color code it or use highlighters, circle it, something like that. Again, while you're taking notes, and it just helps things pop out. You've seen the images where the whole entire book or the whole entire page is highlighted in yellow. That's not effective. It's the same thing as just not highlighting it. So truly make it where you are highlighting the most important things, so when you go back to studying, those things are popping out. So that's really important, and it helps you to focus on what you need to focus on. We talked about this last time in organization, having a calendar. Again, so knowing when you need to study and what you need to study. So if you've got a week that's midterms or finals, and you've got 2 or 3 tests in the same week, having it written down in your calendar is going to be super helpful for you. So on Monday from 1 to 3, you need to study for English. And then also on Monday from 5 to 7, you need to study for U.S. history. So you're not bouncing around, you're not just pushing it off. So you are staying on task, and again, holding yourself accountable. Another thing that you should try to avoid at all costs is saying, oh, I'll study for that later. Because when's later? Never. It's not going to happen. So do your best to try to stick to your plan. Again, when you're writing it down in your calendar that you bought for $1 at the dollar store, like we talked about last time, or made the calendar yourself, or put it in your cell phone, whatever it is, stick to it. Okay, and remember, you're checking it every day, and you're checking it the day before it's actually happening. Even the week before is even better. There is lots of options for studying, so you can either study by yourself or in a group. Both have pros, both have cons. Again, you have to know yourself the best in order for it to be effective, okay? So if you know that you're going to study with a big group of your friends, they're your friends, so what's a possibility that you get off track and things like that? That's all right. Friend time is important, but you know, if you're actually there to study and that's your only time to study, then you need to buckle down. So a great suggestion would be to do both, individually study and group study. So you study beforehand by yourself. You kind of have a background of the information, and then you can follow up with your group members for any questions you might have, and they can kind of fill you in. And again, the group session is kind of a review, if you will. You could do it in either order, but you know, again, studying more than once is going to be most effective for you, especially on a large or a cumulative exam. You're going to need to study for more than just one session. Again, you know yourself best. If you know that you're going to get off track in a group, or if it's just not going to click for you, just study by yourself. No hard feelings for your friends, I hope, but just say, you know, I study better on my own. Another thing that's really important when it comes to studying is if you don't know something, you need to ask, all right? Don't just breeze by it and say, oh, that probably won't be on the test. Well, what if it is on the test and you don't know the answer to it? So you need to be in communication with your teachers, your professors, your instructors, whomever it may be, or even your classmates. So classmates are a great resource. You probably have more direct ways to get in touch with them. But again, if they don't know, you need to just go ahead and reach out to your instructor. We're in the world of technology, so all your instructors are available via email. So just shoot them a quick email, and hopefully you can get that answer. Again, this is why it's important to be studying more than the day before, especially not cramming, because if you're cramming at 2 o'clock in the morning and you don't know something, you can shoot your teacher an email all you want, but chances are they're not going to answer you at 2 in the morning. So again, give yourself a sufficient amount of time, especially if you are going to be in school the next day and you're going to see that teacher. Just jot it down so you remember to ask them. If you remember from our last video in organization, we talked about putting things on sticky notes and putting them on your cell phone or putting them on the front door so you see it before you leave. You could write down the question on the sticky note and put it on the door, and so you won't forget it. Then you just put the sticky note right in your backpack or in your pocket. Would probably even be better. So so you can ask your teacher. All right. So asking questions is really important. Remember, there are no stupid questions, and nobody will ever think any less of you by asking questions. Smartest people ask questions, so ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Have a plan. Just be prepared. Always be prepared. Don't go into things blind. Set goals for yourself by when you're studying. So if you know you're going to be studying for 3 nights during study session number 1 on night 1, no, I have to get through chapter 4. All right, set yourself a goal. And it gets a little tricky when you're setting yourself a goal, because you know, if you're setting aside 2 hours to get through chapter 4, if you get through chapter 4 in an hour, don't just stop. Review up through chapter 4 again. Really use all the time you're allotting yourself, because again, the more you review things, the more you repeat things, the more likely it is you're going to be retaining that information. This is a little bit of a shorter video today, but it's just study skills and some tips. It's not note-taking. We will be doing a note-taking video, so definitely check back for that. But again, it's really important to not only be organized like we talked about last time, but having yourself a plan and doing some of these study skills that we talked about. Again, this isn't all the study skills in the world, but just helps you get you thinking, so can never hurt. All right, well, I hope everybody's doing well. Miss you all so much. Stay safe, wash your hands, and hope to see you soon. All right, Mr. Burr out.